we are really excited. I think I'm still excited coming off of Rise and thinking about how many people line out the door, right? For kind of systems and operation and process. And that's something that Siri and I are both very passionate about, is just all that kind of what infrastructure operations that go into building a successful team or business. So a lot of like the things that we're talking about apply, whether you're an agent who is a top producing agent, maybe thinking about a team or have a small team or a large team. This is the right space for you.
Yeah. So I guess real quick before we go into that, so Adam, I just was curious, are you just, why you're, thank you for being here, but just so we can make sure we're understanding the audience. And then there's people that are watching elsewhere, but um, just a real quick about you and Linda. I don't see you, Linda, but I see you.
Yeah. Thanks for asking. So actually, Beth and I connected, I would say a month and a half ago now, maybe, and just had
Yep.
a
Okay.
conversation. And then I got invited to this from Jack Ladden, someone on our team. He kind of lets me know whenever there's events coming on, and I'm always curious and learning more about just the business in general. So
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
nice to see you, Adam.
Yeah, so you guys know each other, and
likewise.
then Linda with the cool background. What's up?
No, I was just playing with mine. Uh, you could
Oh,
do
there you go.
you could do so many things now. Like you can put eyebrows on and lips, and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
crazy. So
That's
anyway,
crazy.
I am part of a team. I don't have a team, and I was
Okay.
just basically looking for business information as well. So I just thought I would jump on.
Sweet. Okay.
Welcome.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just nice to kind of know the audience. And again, there's people that watch like live. There's all different kind of ways. I wanted to say too that like all the recordings, if you guys want to go back and just if there's something in particular, um, I have it on my YouTube. I'm sure you have it somewhere too, Beth. I'm not quite sure, but I have it also on my YouTube channel and it's under Cookbook. So if you guys ever need to go back on something specific, like last time, I think, didn't we do events?
Hmm.
Um, we've done CRM. It's when we did our training, and so this is for anybody that watches this or watches back, when we did our training at Rise, which again was really cool to have so many people there supporting us on systems. We didn't have slides. We couldn't have any slides and we couldn't have any visuals. So it was just very like kind of, I hate to say surface as surface level as we could go in 45 minutes. What we really do and want to do on these cookbooks every month is we'll let you guys know what it is we have coming up next and if it applies to you, but we like to show you what we're talking about and go deep on what this actually means because we talked about a few systems and different things at the event, but it's just we really like to show you, have our operations on. We've had so anyways, I just wanted to paint that for you guys. You can go back and watch where we've been. You can decide what you want to jump into going forward that fits for you. So um, anyways, today we're doing business planning, which I know is near and dear to Beth. And I will transparently say I'm not the best at this one. So I'm going to be here absorbing some of this with you guys. I've hired and leveraged out people that do this stuff, which will probably just watch Sharon's this year, or I'll have you, Beth, help me out. Either way.
Yeah. So I'm excited. Siri, I mean, just to give us some background, again, like you said, we do for people that watch later or live stream. Siri, who are you?
Oh, okay. So just for anybody who doesn't know who I am, um, so I run a team. So I'm Siri Rowell. I run a team down in San Diego. There's about 60, 70 of us on the team. We have a large operations. We have VAs. I've been in the business for 20 years, solar for 16, and then started a team. So my teaming is not as long as Beth's. Real estate's a long time, long journey. And I am in heavy production. I'm actually now one of the top producers on the team. So I will brag about that because I'm in the trenches with my agents, very much so.
Funny. You're
Yeah.
one of the top producers.
I am the top producer.
You are. No, you're like, I am. No, I am the top producer.
I am. And if George was on here right now, he'd be saying the same thing. So yeah, I have a partner. So
My name is Beth Downey. I've been in same thing in the business 20 plus years. I've run a team in Minnesota between Minneapolis, St. Paul, and then South. It originated in Rochester in 2010. Have about 40 agents, kind of playing around with some different models as far as having some partners, having some kind of network, and just doing like this infrastructure like that we talk about for a lot of agents, and just really trying to help them achieve their goals. And speaking of achieving goals, like one of the things is just to bring it full circle is business planning. And so I'm excited today, and I'm going to talk from the perspective. We did our introductions. Siri kind of did a recap of where you can find past things. We're going to talk about the key topic today, business planning, from a mindset of not that you won't get anything out of this if you are an agent who's wanting to know about business planning, but also from a perspective of like, how would I get a group of people to do a plan, or what does that look like as far as on a team level? Then there's some assets for you, and then we'll do some Q&A and just talk about like December in the next session. So the thing just to kind of think about that I always say, kind of some food for thought, and go ahead and hit the next reveal, as far as, has anyone ever thought about like the difference between a business that fails and one that succeeds? I mean, you might think about this for yourself, like more in the sense of, it's interesting. I don't know about you guys, like in real estate. I mean, I just thought of this, like, I think I always thought of like, well, what if I fail, right? And that's probably what drove me, was like, I don't want to fail. I want to do this. But I think that it's really cool to think about like, what does success look like, and how do I model that? And when I got into real estate, I don't think it's not real estate the way it's done today. There weren't a lot of 20-year-olds doing real estate. There weren't a lot of people who understood technology 20 years ago doing real estate. So I think that success model maybe wasn't as apparent, where I think it's cool today that there's definite traces and people that you can follow and learn from as far as what success looks like. But if you were to guess, what do you think I know not to put you on the spot, Linda and Adam, but what do you think is the single biggest differentiator between one that succeeds and one that does not? It's pretty obvious if what we're talking.
Is it, well, is it routine? I don't know. Gosh,
It's
like having an established like daily routine versus just trying to wake up and willy-nilly winging it.
Yes. I mean, to what you said is exactly, it's a plan, right? I mean, is exactly like whether it's a plan for your schedule, a plan for what you're doing. I love to speak in the sense of just small business, because I think we are small business. But I just have my stat, I got to read. There's 543 new businesses start up, about approximately 500,000, a little more than 500,000 annually. And 5 out of 10 survive past 5 years. So 50%. So, real estate, we always talk about it's 87. Even if you look at small business, it's probably 50%. But of those ones that survive, 70% of them had a plan. And a business plan is more likely, having a plan in place, you're 6 times more likely to survive and to achieve your goals than not having one. So I'm going to talk about this again, just to understand, even doing it one time, there's a lot of value in it. And you can obviously go above and beyond from there. But just having something is amazing. That's what Sharon always talks about too, is just the one page is even great. So I think it's like, why does this matter? I think it matters because, real estate really probably has transformed, where a lot of people are looking at it more as like a business, and how do I run this? Like if I was starting any other small business, if you're starting a business, like the goal is to be profitable, right? Meaning like, after I pay all my expenses or systems, or as I continue to grow and leverage, I have to remain profitable. I know I always say this, like, I love everybody that I work with. But I don't really want to do it for fun, right? I don't know about you, Siri, but like I could probably spend time doing other things.
I think at first it's fun because it's a building process, and then you definitely get to the point of like, okay, it's go time, everyone. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so especially from the aspect of like if you ever choose to step into something greater than yourself by like hiring somebody or growing a team, is like it really needs to be profitable, right? You're going to potentially not be the top producer and then not have that that income stream, and so it's really important. But when we go back to a plan in general, I just think it helps you reach your goals. It really helps as a team leader effectively manage your team and managing them without drama. It's not my plan, it's their plan, and helping them achieve their goals. And honestly, just having like a better functioning team is why this all matters. And effective management. So if you step into a team leader role, we are a leader and we're also a manager. We're both. Sometimes we're leading, sometimes we're managing. But when we're managing people and in that space, the way to be an effective manager is that development, maximum, and that maximization of people, things, and money, right? And that's exactly what we do as a team, is like, how can I maximize the people that I'm going to partner with and helping them achieve their goals, which in return is going to help the business. The things that we have, right? The assets, the tools, the tech, the systems, the marketing. I mean, maximizing all that stuff that we're creating. And the same thing is like, if you're smart and you take your money and invest it back into your business, is how do I maximize every dollar in order to achieve like our goals and the growth that we want to do. So the first thing that you do in doing this, and we already did ours, like at Enclave, we start, and I'm not gonna take credit for this. It started from Tom Ferry.
Linda, wait, sorry. Linda's like, I know. Trust me. We have not. I love
Yeah,
that.
I
Sorry. Go
know,
ahead.
I know. I was gonna give credit to Tom Ferry because years ago, one year, Tom did business planning in October, and he always talked about this. And the magic of doing business planning early, uh, from a perspective of like, even for yourself or for your team, is we started having better fourth quarters. So the year that happened, that I made the switch of not doing it in January or November or December, doing it in October, it was amazing that starting that intention of thinking about, okay, how do I want next year to look? What's this year like? What did I do? Actually kept people in production and actually helped them achieve like a better end to the year. On top of it, it's a huge goal and motivator to get everybody to say, let's all commit to a plan so we can check out December 20th. It's the 17th, I think, is this year, is the checkout date. Let me just make sure. No, it's the 20th. It is the 20th. I was wrong. On the 20th, I say to everybody, let's have a plan in place that we can now do whatever business we need to maintain. We can enjoy our friends and our families and the holidays, and then come back January 2nd, ready to go. And you already have your plan and you know exactly what you need to do, hit the ground running and get it all wrapped up before then. So I love, even as one agent, having that plan in place. The earlier you can start it. So I don't care. We're still November 4th or 5th. Make it this year. Make it this month. I mean, make it December, whatever, but just enjoy the holidays. And we're going to talk about starting simple and small. So I do have a business planning book that's like 30 some pages long. So if someone ever wants the whole comprehensive thing, it's there. But really, it's like just a simple direction. That's what Sharon, I think, is always trying to preach to with his one page, is like, we can always add on details. We can always elaborate on it, but in using that template as something just to make it faster and help you fast track it and understand planning is important. Just go pause every once in a while. So this is just some example pages of what like a template could look like, the one that we created. And I think it's important to have everything roll up into kind of a scoreboard where it's like, okay, what's my annual goal? What kind of volume? That's most real estate agents thinking. What's my volume I want to do? How many transactions does that equate to? What's the GCI, the gross commission income that I want to earn? And what am I going to charge? I think that's so important. That's been in our plan for a long time, but especially since the NAR settlement, is to think about like, what do you charge? What do you charge for your services? You know, is it 3%? Is it 2%, 2.5, 2.7, 2.8? What do you charge for a seller? What do you charge for a buyer? I think it's important to continue to build that database, right? And take care of these clients that you can service through life that will continue to bring, repeat and referral business. So just having those breakdown is really important. When we think about a business plan, just kind of having those objectives of what we want to focus on. Statistically, I mean, all this is based in data that like we really can only focus on one thing per quarter and do it really well, especially when you're trying to do real estate. So thinking like, okay, I'm going to get a new CRM and I'm going to start like this new website, and unless you have the whole staff, okay, I'm gonna do all these things. It's like it just doesn't happen. So you actually are more successful just thinking about something that you want to focus on to improve your business, kind of having a breakdown of where it comes from, really thinking about your people, and having like a budget or expenses really just helps with that long-term plan of being able to, reinvest back in your business, make sure you're profitable, and actually run it, like a business. But this is kind of what it looks like. So speaking from the standpoint of what does it look like from a team perspective, the very first thing that you do, and again, I'm going to switch gears and talk as a team leader, is like, I'm a business owner and I have to decide, has anyone ever heard of a BHAG? It's an older book, but it's a classic. Do you know it, Siri? Like a BHAG? No, Linda's no.
Yeah. I've heard of it. I don't remember what the acronym is.
It's like a big, hairy, audacious goal.
That's
right?
what it is. Yeah, there you go.
So it's something that like this book is called The 4 Disciplines of Execution. It is an amazing book. It's like, I think there's like 5 books that I feel like I base my whole business on, and that would be one of them. But it's cool. And there's also one called a WIG, and a WIG is a wildly important goal. It doesn't matter whatever kind of like business person you're subscribing to, it is something to say, hey, or as a group, like, wouldn't it be really cool if we did 50 transactions this year? Or what if we did 100? Or what if we did 300? Or what if we did 500, right? But just kind of having some like big goal that the collective could all try to achieve together. And that's something that I think from the team leader perspective is thinking about like, what's possible with this group of people that I'm working with? What could we do in setting the bar a little bit into something that's maybe achievable, but also something that would take intention and time to get into it. And then it's kind of thinking about like, okay, the second thing I think as the business owner, the team leader is like, okay, what do we need this year? Like in 2025, I don't know, Siri, like, can you think about like, what do you think what does the brand need in 2025 as a collective?
What do they need to open escrows and sell homes?
Okay.
I know that's a broad thing, but I'll say there's an answer to that one.
There you go. Yeah.
Here's my long answer to that short answer for a question. What I found over the years is building so many things. We've gotten into so many things, and I've been back in production, cut out a lot so that we can just focus on the basics. And so we're getting back to basics of, you guys need to go sell homes. And I know that's as simple as what we all wish, but really what we're working on and what we need is for people to stop focusing on getting ready to get ready to get ready and go sell homes.
Yeah. That's awesome. We talked about that yesterday in our team meeting. It's I said it goes back to just the doing, right? I'm like, we love learning and we love reading books and we love doing whatever, but we need to go do it, right? Like, or as far as like you said, kind of just getting that in place. But
well, it's important to say, and this is part of business planning, you do need to have a vision and you need to put that down in paper, and but then there's also that, okay, so we're going to do this. That's what the brand needs right now, is go do it now. So
I love it. So, and like you said, if you think about it, there's a lot that goes into, I'm trying to find this, an agenda. But, it's kind of similar, like what we need in 2025 at our group is to put like kind of Zillow in its place and get back to basics, and really like that database, and really the relationship, and really the surprise and delight, and really making the phone calls and all of those things in doing. So just like you said, I think you'll find that it's cyclical, but every year there's kind of something, right? Where it's like, you know what we all really need this year to focus on. But I think that as a leader, that's important to establish that for yourself and establish it for the collective. And then for the agents, it's more like the agents really need to get grounded in like why? Like why am I even here? And like why do I want to do this? And Siri's gonna ask me to open all these escrows and like why? Why do I want to make the calls and go
Do
on
they
appointments?
want to
That's the
do it,
thing.
right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, are you interested or committed? And like, you really like great work over time really needs something compelling to like get out of bed and be excited about. So just kind of helping your agents before this is, remember, preparation for kind of quote unquote a business planning day, or morning or whatever you're going to do. It's important that they spend some time thinking about like, why am I doing this? And then I think they always talk about the 5 Ps, which are like, my people, like who are my people that I'm doing this for? What are my processes? What, how do I get people into production? How do I remain profitable? And why am I forgetting one? Process, production, profitability, people, and I'm missing one. Crazy. All right, well, it's not that important, guys, because I don't even remember it. No, I'm just kidding. But okay, so you have, wow, it's so crazy. So you've got your people. When you have your people, you want to have like the process of like how you get them into your system. Once you get them in your system, you want to get into production. Once you're into production, damn it, that's so crazy. I'm missing one. Then profitability. But anyways, I think just having those things. What I was going to show, and I think we have it maybe in this collective, is I've got an agenda. And one thing is I've learned over doing business planning, and as you can see, I'm pretty
Elder,
passionate.
Beth, portfolio. So going.
Portfolio. Yes. Who are my people? What's the process? And then portfolio is like my clients. Thank you so much. Like, how could I forget? Yes, I was thinking people, big picture, but the people, the general that come in, the people in your portfolio that like you want to stay in a relationship with. Thank you so much. But then having an agenda. So before they come to the day, I kind of have broken it down, that business plan that I showed you, into like, hey, do this before, this week, and next week just work on your volume goal, and next week think about this, because people just need time to kind of we are busy, just small things that are achievable to get done before business planning day. So now as a team leader, we arrive, we're going to do our event, whether, like I said, I think that you can do, depending on the size of the group, you can do it in the morning, you can do it for a whole day. It depends on how deep you want to go. It depends on kind of what it looks like. But I think one of the first things is establishing a time frame. I think it's a really good thing as you get, especially Siri and I, like sometimes maybe a bigger team and even a small team is just like a reminder of like, hey, what are we all about? What's our, mission? What's our vision? What are we here? What is the brand? What is Enclave? What did we achieve this year? What does next year look like? I think it's a great place to do that as well. And then it's like kind of having some time, like there's years where it's been shorter because as we've done more prep work, there's years where I had people come in and we spent the whole day filling out the book, which I think that's a great place to start. And once you do a few years or reps of that, people understand like your process of like what you're expecting. So maybe you shorten it or have them do the work up front so they have more time at home or discuss with family or think about it. And then kind of use that time to, what people really want today is that collaboration. Like, how do I sit with some other agents and really like kind of brainstorm what's worked for them, or what does a plan look like, or how can I achieve this, and what are you doing, and trying to find maybe some people in community to be have some accountability around it, etc. But all of that goes into that time frame. You can do a group activity, you can do a team bonding thing. It's really kind of like just establishing what do you want out of that business planning day for your group, and what kind of time would you need to do that. It's super fun. We have breakfast, we cater in lunch, we do snacks in the afternoon, just to kind of make it like a fun day that people actually look forward to every year. I'd say it's one of people's favorite thing is like business planning day. They talk about it all year and it's kind of become like a thing. You think it's funny?
Ours is the Padres. It's just funny. Look, I do not. I love
So
it.
yeah.
I love it for you. Yeah, no, it's just funny. Like, I guess I attract the same people as me. I mean, I've been, I had a lady that was kind of helped me with the team for a while, and she'd be like, "You have to do this stuff," and I was like, "What do you mean?"
I know. No, I know it's very, very important. And like every year I dread it. So it's like it's time to conquer it and just because I know it's important. And without it, you're floundering. And I see that.
I
And
know. I know.
so,
I envy the people that love it so much. And I love that you
yes,
make it such a big day and a big deal out of it, right? Because it is truly so important. So,
It
um,
is like Linda, like you said, I don't, I guess it's for me, it is like a gift. It's a natural, it's just the way I'm behaviorally made up. But I will
yeah.
say that making it a fun, memorable day, what I hear back from people is that it's inspiring for the end of the year. They get to think about like what's possible. They get to like have a day where they're thinking about like their business and spending time reflecting on that, which is really like I always think about it like we're real estate agents. I really this is my belief is like we should help people with their home, their asset. Like what's the value of it? What's your equity? Like we should be that like go-to for them. That's our role is to help them with this big asset that they have that they bought into this house and that journey of like owning multiple homes or what that looks like in real estate. The same thing as a team leader, I feel like, hey, you're having something like you're buying into something that's supposed to help you grow your business and help you like be something that you wouldn't be on your own, right? And so I love doing this where it's like, maybe if you don't like it, but I think that's part of like breaking it down probably over years of making it simple. And I'm going to talk about the people who aren't like me, what it's like when they come to this. But that's why we make the day fun. And that's why it's more about collaborating and having lunch and having snacks and some of that other stuff. So it's not like some painful, dreadful Beth standing in front of everybody. Everyone get their book out, open up to page one. On page one, you're going to find, right?
Beth, I have a question. When
Yeah.
it goes to the small groups, how do you choose? Is it like agents that are all at the same level in each
Oh,
group,
that's a
or
good,
is
yeah.
it mixed together?
Yeah, that's a good. So again, I'll show you, do have, you probably don't have the business planning slide deck up to you because I do. If you stop sharing, I can share mine just to give some context of what it would look like.
I have actually I do have it. Yeah, give me 1 second.
Okay, go to slide 9.
Okay.
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 So what it looks like is like I do it at a lunch discussion. There's like strategic times that we kind of have breakout sessions. So there's two things. One, sometimes like I divide it I by if I believe there's a benefit to new agents working together, established agents working together. So there are activities that I've done that is based on production. There are activities that I've done that has been based on what they build their business with, right? Because there could be people who are mostly Sphere. There are people who could do Zillow. And then there's also things like just to show you a example is like this year we did like a lunch discussion where it's like, hey, what do you want to talk about? Like, what are you excited about? Like, do you want to like have an opportunity to talk about your sphere? Is it Zillow? Is it marketing and more opportunities? Is it presentations? Which, by the way, nobody picked number 4. Nobody wants number 4. Is it an innovation or AI? And again, in my group, I think it was pretty scary. Nobody picked 5. I'm excited about that. Accountability or something else. And that was really cool where they got together based on that. So it could be based on topic. It could be based on how you're building your business. It could be based on production and or tenure exactly. Thank you. You can switch back. Great question. I appreciate that. So going back to the day, like I said, just trying to make it fun. And that's part of as time has gone on, people's focus is a lot less. So either it has to be more fun packed in or it has to be a shorter day. And that's another reason why I break it into work before, because people just don't have the attention span to sit for like a whole day and talk about things. One of the things I think that's important when you go back to 2 on your day is like having everyone in the right mindset. So in the beginning of the day, the first thing that we do is just setting the mindset of like, why are they here? What do they want to get out of the day? Being open, being vulnerable, thinking big. Like it's just kind of setting a framework for what that day is going to be about. And then I think you as a leader need to have some sort of plan, right? I mean, and that's why even having a template or a book to follow, if we take it as simple as possible, where it's like, hey, we're all just going to fill out this book together. Like that's a plan that works. Like it doesn't need to be elaborate, but that's kind of what the day of looks like. And then I think the magic is in the follow-up. So I can ask everybody to come that day, and I can ask them to complete or to do a plan, and then we kind of give some deadlines, right? Like we have like, hey, you want to have your rough draft done by November 1st, and we want to have the final by December 20th, right? So we can check out for the year. But as a leader, you're responsible, and one of your responsibilities, I believe, is like you getting those plans completed. Like, are you following up with them? Are they getting them done? Are they stuck? Do they not understand business? Like Linda was saying, I think this is really important to understand, like kind of building those business, but getting them back. And it also shows you care. Like, I'm going to ask you to come to a business planning event for the day. And then I'm like, good luck with that. Like, I think it just shows that. And as far as coaching and leading is just kind of getting them back. Then sometimes having an opportunity if somebody wants to do a one-on-one and review it and just kind of give some feedback, and then having them, turn it in. And then we have them, in a folder, and we've got them collected. And then I think, is it the next one? Do we go into achieving goals? So if I have their plans and now we go into running a team and helping them achieve their goals, it's really important that you get their goals posted somewhere, or you have your goals posted somewhere where you can see it, having that visual scoreboard. We put them into Follow-Up Boss as a CRM that we use, but we actually input every agent's goals into there so that they can see them and know how they're doing throughout the year in relation to their goals. We have a spreadsheet for our pods or if you're a small team, right? Just that I can see what their goals are and where they are in relation to that. We can tie it in then to those weekly meetings. And then, like I said, I think it's cool if you can, to help people really achieve their goal is like, there has to be some sort of follow-up, whether it's at least quarterly getting them out or biannually, maybe once you do it. And I'm just going to say, kind of just like Siri, what you're saying is like, if you do nothing, what happens? Okay. So if I have this big business planning day, I get the goals and I do nothing all year. I don't ever ask them about it. They never get them out and nothing happens. It's amazing how often when people get them out, they're like, oh my gosh, I actually did this. And I wasn't really intentional. Linda, can you relate to this? Maybe if you've done it? No? So I just think that, like, even if you decide that I'm going to do absolutely nothing with it, there really is intention. It's that it's your unconscious mind. It's there. You actually thought about it. It's somewhere in there. But even if you don't get it out, it is amazing. But the more you utilize them and tie back into them, the higher the chances are that you're going to achieve it. And when you go into like leadership and driving sales and helping people achieve goals, this really goes into accountability, right? This is their plan. It's not my plan. Like I said, I as a leader might be like, let's see if we can do 500 transactions or help 500 people this year buy or sell our home. That would be amazing. And someone says, okay, I think I'm going to do 20 of that. Great. And they set the goal. I didn't tell them, hey, I think you can do 20, you can do 10, you can do 5, you can do 30. It really is what they want. And then it's when you take that plan, it's really great to be like, hey, you wanted to do this. Like, let's talk about it. What's getting in the way? What's the challenge? What's working? Because it's really based in what they want. It's not what I want. And that makes accountability so much easier. It's not drama. It's not my wishes. It really is what they wanted. And I just wanted to help them get that. So what we did in the next one is we put together, if you're interested to, because Siri last month said something, but there is a QR code, or you could message on Workplace, but we actually have the Enclave Way is like the coaching part that I do to my business, but we have the business planning book that you can print out, or it's editable online, like digital. I'm happy to share my slide deck presentation just to make it so much easier to go through and do the slides. And then I actually have the agenda too, and kind of what the prep looks like, what the follow-up looks like. So if you wanted to be able to run it with your team, you could just do it and have it all, because it is a lot. It's years of work and years of kind of what worked, what didn't, how do we get it as basic as possible. The book has not changed from last year to this year, which is the very first time I can say that in probably 10 years of doing this. of finally feeling like I kind of got it dialed in, where it's got the most simplistic way of being able to achieve what is needed to kind of have a focused real estate practice. So with that, it's super cool. We get to stop and answer questions, and I can keep talking and fill up time, but I do always want to leave Siri and I do time for questions and discussion as well. And Siri, you can talk about, like you said, outsourcing or kind of what it looks like at the brand.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mind opening it up to you guys first before we start kind of continuing to speak
I,
like we do. But what do you guys have?
Yeah.
I got a question for you. So like, do you do anything like longer term goals and then compare that to like your annual business goals by chance?
Yeah. You're like advanced, Adam. You need to be like the advanced in cookbook class. So what I was saying to Brenna, we just talked about this yesterday, is that there is something called it's called target planning, right? And target planning is thinking about like, what do I personally want to achieve in life, and what do I want my business to achieve someday, right? Whatever someday looks like to you. Someday for some people is 3 years from now. Someday might be 25 years, whatever that is. But you're right, is like, if I know kind of like that big picture plan of like what I want personally and in business, then it's so much easier to like break it down into a business plan, right? But like, that I feel like is something that if we start here and everyone gets used to doing this, that's a great one-on-one activity, is to take somebody through that. But some people like conceptually can't even, on a team, like they're just not used to thinking that way. They're not like you are driven to like build a business, right? It might be more like, I just want to sell real estate. I don't even know. I just want to pay my bills. Like, you know? So it's
No, for
like,
sure.
okay,
For sure.
let's get you out of survival. That's what we always talk about, is like there's survive and thrive, right? And a lot of people, when we're in survival mode, no dreaming is really going on, other than like, I just need to sell homes. I don't want to fail, and I just want to pay my bills. Then we can get into kind of that dreaming phase where you're fortunate enough to be there. Yeah.
No, I got you. Just curious, because this is my first time really going through like a legit business planning. So
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. So that's super important for you. You absolutely should think about like where you're going, like what are you doing? What's this all for? Right? Yeah.
I think a cool thing about the worksheets Beth has for the target planning is that it is those business goals, but it adds in those personal goals too, which is, I just think not all of them have that. So it's, yeah.
Yeah. I think that
Love-
like really why we get out of bed every day is honestly for our personal goals, right? And I do think that then being able to tie them into business is awesome, because then it gives meaning to the work that we're doing. And I also think that like, yeah, it's also important that we don't forget about our personal lives, especially in real estate, because it's so easy to get lost. I mean, I always say real estate can become a lifestyle, and we can just really forget self-care. We can forget our family. We can forget friends, our life, like anything outside of it. So another reason why I think it's really important in real estate to have that defined is to make sure, am I like a whole person? Am I like happy in my life instead of just in work?
So, question on that, do you guys do any kind of vision boarding?
Mm-hmm.
Do you mix that in with the business planning?
Yeah, it's kind of goes at the same conjunction. So our business planning is on, our vision board is on the 14th. So
Okay.
same thing. We do it at night. So it's more like a happy hour, like night, right? Like bring a beverage, bring snacks, and then we do vision boarding on the 14th. And that, Adam, that's a great thing, Siri, is a great gateway into the idea of even starting to plan about like, what do I want my life to look like, right? Because it's fun. We bring a bunch of magazines and like,
Yeah.
and like things to clip
Which are
out.
hard to find now. Yeah.
It is so hard to find, right? And images
Yeah.
and try to like put them together. But like, yeah. And then we have like, it's super old school, like glue sticks, and we all sit around and like,
Yeah.
yeah. Do you do
So
that
you
too?
do those on separate days. You do the vision boarding at night. Is that what you said?
Yeah. So
And
vision boarding is in November, like right before Thanksgiving. It's kind of fun. Like
yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
pre-holiday activity that we do. The 14th is when it is. So
Got it.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
kind of
that's
funny. I
always
used
a
to love
good
vision
one.
board night. Now I kind of dread it. Like from my vantage point, like it's interesting at my age. I'm like, I don't know what to put on there. Like, you don't feel that way? Like, do you feel like you could still
Oh,
do one?
I will say last year, I don't, I did not do a vision board. And what's funny is I have poster board for the team and they do all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I am a rebel to myself and I do it. I have it sitting right here. I have a digital frame and I put it on a digital frame that rotates at my desk. And so it's just easier for me than a board that ended up curling up and falling over and all that
Yeah.
stuff. So
I love
I
the
kind of
digital
took it
frame
to,
idea. That's
yeah.
awesome.
I mean, that would be something where it's just,
That's super cool. Yeah.
yeah. But last year I wrote it all down and then I didn't put it in the digital frame. So this year I'm ahead of it where I literally went to the beach one day, just recently sat there. I mean, we have a beach
Yeah, I
here in
know. That's
San
so
Diego.
nice.
Not
When
everybody
you
has
said
a
that,
lake
I
or
had
whatever.
a little bit of envy. Yeah.
I know, I'm sorry. But I sat there and I was like, all right, like had the music on, write down what that is. But to your point, it's interesting because this year it was like different. I remember the last few years, it was like these big, huge, massive goals. And this year it's just literally small personal goals of, okay, so if one, for example, organize the contacts in my iPhone like just a little and whatever that goal is, right? Just get organization, breathe, get less is more because I think that's really the theme that we're going on. um and now I have to make sure that I put that in my frame, right? And I'm committed. Last year I dropped the ball on that, so I had a list and I didn't do the rest. I will say business planning for us, the agents do it. The vision board day is a big day for everybody. They thoroughly enjoy the vision board day when we do that. That's kind of, I think where the excitement of the future goes.
Mhm.
One of the things that, because I'm literally going back and forth and chatting with Keely, who's my director of operations, we're a big team of transparency this year. And I think I told you about how we even put in our slides every week. We have a welcome to the team if there's someone joining, and we have a farewell slide. And we will literally say who's coming or going, because that's, by the way, part of a team is you're going to have people coming and going. It's just going to happen. And so part of what I was going back and forth with my director of ops just now was we should have these goals so that everybody sees everybody's goals, because we every week show a scorecard of where they are each quarter, how many they've closed. But what we're not showing, full transparency, and I'll let the team know this, is what are their goals? Like, I believe that those should be seen by all because we're a team of all. And so part of what we're going back and forth on is, hey, let's make sure that we add a little column that shows the number on our scorecard every week of, and this isn't to shame anybody, and I always lead with that. It's not to shame anybody, it's to encourage. And we run, like you do, a pod system
Mhm.
where we have leaders. So then the leaders can also be seeing this. So if they see, you know, Jenny, I don't have a Jenny on the team, so I'm just going to say that, is in their pod and Jenny is not reaching the goal that she needs to be, they can then go in and say, hey, let's chat a little bit deeper. I didn't realize that that was your goal there,
Yeah.
so
I
yeah.
think it's
So I
great.
mean, that's
Like,
an idea too.
and so if we use Follow Up Us, right? And then that's just been a great place. Like we have them other places, but it's central. Everyone can see everyone's goals and where they're at towards it. It really helps, like, you can do the leaderboard in there and then we can make it
Yeah.
look pretty on Canva or something. And I think one of the things that's important is like we are kind of evolving. Like there is always the production board and to highlight those that are producing, but sometimes it's like who has the fastest lead follow-up, who is making the most contacts and connections, who's setting the most appointments, and then doing a leaderboard on those other metrics and highlighting those people. Every week has been every Monday. We have like we send it out, and then it's super fun because I think it's great. There are people that it's something I can achieve and I can actually get on that leaderboard, right? So even new people are like, I'm going to be on that leaderboard because I'm going to start calling every day and I'm going to, I'm going to have the most contact attempts. And it's a way to just feel like really successful and set yourself apart from from the others. And it's not just about your production, because the lead measures, right? Those phone calls, those conversations, those appointments that you're setting or going on is if you just focus on that, you'll get the end.
Yeah, because we use leaderboards and Follow Up Boss too for points.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys do that, but we track points, and if they reach certain points, then they have lead opportunities. We also have um, places where they can meet their goals for the year and not have to be included in that expectation. They're just on because they've earned it. And
Mm-hmm.
so we use Follow Up Boss for the point system in the leaderboards to track that.
Maybe too, I'll just quick go through um do you still have the agent business planning slides pulled up? At least I do, Brenna. I can, if you want to just go through, let's go through that slide deck of what it looks like to for kind of the day this year, and every year is different. I mean, I could, but this one I think was people really enjoyed it. So I always think I always do, like I said, spend that time up front as a leader. Like where are real estate agents at in 2024? Where's the market at? Like, what do we need? So this is kind of what it's based out of. But if you go forward, you can click through these. So the first thing is like, I think it's always like this year, and Siri, you even spoke to this. It's like, okay, knowing what we know now, like real estate has changed. It's not going to be easy. Your phone's just not going to ring. You're not going to go out and just sell a house, and you're not going to like just like have infinite opportunity. So are you in? Like, are you committed to doing this? Or are you interested in doing that? And where are you at the start of the day? Because that's a fair question of like, I can see that there's a shift, and now I have to like make phone calls and do outreach and have conversations, and maybe I have to like connect with my sphere and ask for referrals. And I think there's some people that maybe they don't want to do that, but I think it's a cool thing to have a conversation about, like if you're interested or if you're in doing 2025. And I think it's a really cool year. So it's an awesome year to just like be like, yeah, things have changed, things have shifted, but 2025 is coming up, and like I'm all in. Like I want to make this happen. Next slide is just in order. This is where I said is kind of setting that mindset and really just thinking about having a successful retreat or whatever day is like you have to be present, right? I know it's really hard, but I say this is one day, or I don't care if it's a half a day or 3 hours or whatever you're going to do, that like you are investing in your future. This is your business. This is your plan. And I just want you to be present. We will take breaks. Okay. So it's like when you're here though, have your feet on the ground and be present. So we talk about the phone, right? Let's just put the phone aside. Like I said, we'll take breaks, no email, no distraction. Invest this in yourself and invest it in your business, and just commit to this one day. And then after that, we do some ground rules. And that's where I talk about the mindset, and just, sometimes I've done like a quick, exercise to ground everybody, but sometimes it's just like being open, that it's confidential, that it's a safe space, that it's your team members, just kind of like what the day is going to look like. And then after that, we always spend some time just kind of, this year I did something where I had every agent like, hey, give a report on the year. What was 2024 like for you? Looking back, what were the wins? What's the highlight? What maybe was like a miss? Because again, this all goes into that mindset of like, if you're going to make a plan, what worked this year? What didn't work? What could you have done better? What was good? What was bad? And kind of having some conversation around that. So you can see it's not super heady yet. And then it's really just understanding why make a plan, because just like you guys, it's like, I don't know, why should I do this? Like, well, because if you want to have these things in life, like who doesn't want their grocery cart that full? I don't want my grocery cart. No, just like I go to the store and I just load it up, which is kind of funny. Like it's like actually relatable in 2024, where it's like, man, someone could do that. That's like $400 right there. But anyways, it's just like, again, having a conversation around it, because it's cool with people that have been with me for a while, of like, yeah, I never even looked at it and I achieved it, or I can't believe when I go back, or I do use it, or whatever it is just kind of getting that buy-in. Kind of thinking about like real estate in your career, like what's the future going to look like? And I think that's applicable right now, especially at Real, with this Leo Copilot and everything that's coming out and AI, and just kind of think about like, what's our job going to be like going forward. And then you can skip that. Yep. Okay. And so then we talked about the lunch discussion. We already talked about this. So now we're at lunchtime. The thing that I felt like we really needed as a team is the schedule, right? Because now it's like, oh my gosh, for the first time I have time. And I'm not running all over and writing multiple offers, and I don't know what to do, and things aren't working like they used to. So we spent a lot of time on the schedule and what is an income producing activity versus what is not an income producing activity. And people really valued just getting some clarity and more like conversation, and just going back to, like you said, Siri, basics of like, what does a schedule look like? What does prospecting look like? When is the best time to do it? How do you like take your week, and like, how do you fit in, whether it's marketing or social media or projects? Like I said, if we bucketed and we did a brainstorming thing of, one side was like, what is income producing activities? And that was a cool conversation. What are non-income producing activities? And then the importance of making sure that we're doing those income producing activities. What are we doing to move our business forward or generate income on the daily or the weekly? And then, like I said, just getting clear on schedule. So that was a big block of time. I think it's important that every agent knows, like, especially with the NAR settlement, like, what's your value proposition? What do you have to bring to the table? Why should people pay you? Like, what's your shtick? And like, can you sell me on you, or can you sell somebody on like what value you have? So I think that was something that we talked about a lot as well. And then just kind of like the things that are what are the 3, 4, 5 most important, critical, essential things that you need to do now, the second half of the year, so that if you actually did it, like you in the team, and you, the company, you yourself, would be more successful. You'd finish the year feeling really good about it, and that you would really start like 2025 knowing like, I have the best chance of success. And I can tell you that 6 months ago, I was in July, I came back June, and we were not in a good position. And we've been, again, this is how I used to run my team. And I think it's a little more critical in these kinds of markets, with that like high focus, high intention. What are you going to do to feel good at the end of this year, and keeping everybody on track and motivated and positive and driven is like such a gift. And it's amazing what we can do. Like, we set a goal and we're actually going to exceed it. Like, the goal was basically so that Beth didn't have to bring money into like keeping the team running. And it's like everyone rallied, and everyone also, they were in the same position as I was in from the team. They weren't where they wanted to be financially, really making that plan of what is it going to take to feel good and have a good Christmas and holiday, and making that happen. And yesterday it was super cool, because at our team meeting, we got to talk about like, what are we going to do to celebrate? What are we going to do for this party? And what are we going to do to like, for all the work that we did? That momentum, and then going into 2025 is so powerful of like, yeah, we're going to kill it next year, guys. And like, super exciting to just be that focused. So I think that was like a really cool constant conversation of just kind of making sure we're doing the right things. And that's it. That was our day. So that's what the slides look like. And then kind of, we had already filled out the book, but I don't think that it feels taxing or like boring, or it's a lot of great conversation, and it's really motivating. I think people leave feeling inspired, and a little bit like, I can do this.
Great job.
So you guys were all there in person together?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's more powerful if you can be together, right? I mean, if you can find a group and do it, I mean, we're on Zoom now. I spend a lot of time on Zoom, but it just isn't the same. So, anything else in closing? Like, we can talk about next month too. Are there any last minute questions, thoughts?
I think it's great. I think it takes the pressure off too. Like it gives you, in the beginning of the new year, you just feel like you're ready to go. You're not dreading like, oh my gosh, now I got to make sure all my goals are written down and da 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 da, and I think that kind of, like you said, you're ready for the holidays, and then you wake up and you're good to start the new year, and you already know. So
Yeah, I love that you said that. That's really true. Like two things came out of the change doing this years ago is number one, like you said, is first of all, it's really fun to go to the holidays and just know like, okay, I ended my year well and I'm kind of set for next year so I can just relax, right? And just enjoy it. Then you get tired of your family and you get tired of eating and you get tired of whatever and you're like, I'm ready to go back to work. And then like you said, you know what you need to do and you have the plan and you pull it out and you're kind of excited versus starting then. And when we used to start in January, I told you that like no one today, I sent out a reminder this morning to my team and I'm like, I need your plans. I need your plans. 2 people out of like 40 have turned them in. We started in October. Okay. So when we started in January, it would be March. And then I would get everyone's plans by March. Okay, you know what? We should be selling right now. We should have our pipeline. We need to be like already in action. So let's do this now when it's not as busy, do it through the holiday so that when you come back, now I'm more like, get out there, go do it. Like you said, Siri, open escrows. Like we already talked about this. Like,
Yeah. I just checked with Keely. We're doing ours December 5th, which we do a mega meeting every month.
yeah.
And so that's when we're doing it is our mega meeting. We have food and we do that every month. So we're doing a whole day of all of these things. But to your point, like we need to make sure that we're preparing for the event so they're not just showing up going, okay, what am I doing? And then you need to then follow through with, okay, now I need all of this before 2025 hits. So,
Yeah, because if
yeah,
you as a leader and you're driving sales, it's like, and then to hold accountable is like, because there's nothing to hold them accountable to. It's like,
right.
well, you don't have their plan, you don't know. Like they could be like, well, I know I
Yeah.
said that, but like it
Well,
didn't work
and
out, you
another
know?
thing is I will take a look at their goals and it will help me to formulate what the company and the team goals,
Yeah.
obviously to an extent, because I have a P&L I have to follow and things, but I do need to understand these are the people that are going to be pulling the numbers to be able to foresee the future. So I need to make sure that I have alignment in the goals going into the new year for the business as well.
Yeah. And I can't tell how many times people are like, they did 12 transactions and they're going to do 40. And I'm like, oh, talk to me about 40. How are we getting to
Yeah,
40? Like, I'm just going to work harder. Okay. Tell me how that looks. Like, in doing some goal and reset adjustment. I'm never going to tell someone they can't, but if you don't have a plan of how you're going to get there, just because you pick a number doesn't mean it's going to happen, right? And just understanding that and doing some coaching to that. The same thing, another point you brought up that's really good. We project everything on the leaderboards and the scoreboards on what everyone says they're going to do. We have an internal, like what I base the business off of, my P&L and the budget
right.
is what I know is probably going to happen
Correct.
realistically. So I could take someone who has a 40 and they're really committed to thinking they're going to do 40 and be like, wow, they did 6 this year. I'm going to put them at 15, right? I mean, and that's what I'm going to base my budget on. I can always increase it. And if someone kills it, man, I'm going to like be so stoked, but that I cannot, I've made that mistake early
Yeah,
on when the team was small of basing it on everyone's hope because I thought they were like me, thinking that like I'm
right.
actually going to do it. And it's like, no.
Right, right. It's
Yeah.
it's a collective roadmap, but then we do have to go back and look at the numbers, and the numbers just speak the P&Ls and the
Mhm.
numbers and all the budgeting.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Cool. Well, next month we are, because we have just a minute. Thank you for that. And by the way, I'd love all your material. You know that.
Hmm.
And here's where you can find us if you guys have any questions or need anything. What was next month for our cookbook?
Next month, we're just going to kind of do like end of year recap and what we see for 25, like as far as teams and just kind of looking at kind of forecasting.
Cool. And then we will be coming up with a plan, a business plan on Cookbook. So, kind of like what are the monthly trainings going forward into 2025? So, if you guys have anything that you would like for us to do, just let us know. So, you guys here, or anybody that's watching the replay, just reach out to us and let us know if there's anything you specifically want us to go deep on for 2025 so we can put that in our plan.
Yes.
Other than that, thanks for joining. Thanks, Beth.
Thanks, guys. Yeah.
That's great. Thanks for sharing.
Thanks for
All
being so
right. Well,
psychotic about business planning. Like so excited.
oh,
I'm
I'm
like,
pumped now. I'm like over here, Keely. Okay, we're gonna do this. All right.
I'm
All
excited.
right.
Like, I hope you do. It'd be fun to see, like I said, what change it could make. And I think in these years, it's really important. It is. There's my phone.
Yeah. I pull it off. I always do. I come with a smile. It's just not, I mean, yeah. I like events and going to Padre games and bowling. So it's expensive. Anyways. All
Yeah.
right.
Okay. All right.
We'll
Thanks,
we'll see you
everyone.
guys.
Bye.
All right, bye.